Climate change challenge. Final results. So I spent about 200 hours maybe reading up on the subject just to form my own opinion. And 200 hours, that's nothing. That's barely scratching the surface of this topic. But I still think this video can do good because you can just watch it in like 5 to 10 minutes. You'll have whatever I learned in 200 hours, and that's still quite a lot. And I think it's enough for most people. And starting off, I need to define what it is that I'm looking at. And I'm only looking at the change of temperature on the Earth's surface. So I don't care about like these tropical storms or tornadoes and whatever people say is the fault of the climate change, but nobody actually knows that is true. But we do know, it's proven that the Earth is actually getting warmer, and that is because of this greenhouse gas effect. So we're basically emitting different kind of gases into the atmosphere, and this is working as a greenhouse, heating the Earth temperature. And the biggest one of these being the carbon dioxide, which we are emitting quite a lot of. The second question, is it actually real? And this I can say for sure that this is actually going on, and it's the human interaction with the nature that's causing this. So basically, we've always had fluctuating levels of the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, but it's always been up and down within a certain range. And lately, after the Industrial Revolution, more or less, we start to see this raise and not going back again. So this is definitely real. So why are so many people saying that this is fake? I think either they're making money off of emissions, so they're in the industry, or it's just the fact that this ignorance, more or less, they didn't read up on the topic and they don't have any facts at all. They just more or less conspiracy theorists. Is there a problem then? It's definitely going to be a problem in the future, even if it's not super big of a problem right now, because we're not adapted to the changes that this will do to Earth. Basically, we are melting the ices, and we are more or less making even more animal species extinct. So, and if this goes on, it's going to be a way bigger problem. It's probably even existential problem for us humans. So what is causing it? And basically it's what we think is causing it. Heavy industry is a big one. Meat industry is a big one. And what's not causing it goes under the myths. And I've read a couple of articles, really stupid articles, that like this volcano is emitting more greenhouse gases in a couple of seconds than the entire human race did in all of existence. And this is just not true. Like, sure, nature emits these gases, but it has been for a very long time, and it's always within this range, so it's going up and down. And one thing that made this challenge quite difficult was it's so hard to get the actual numbers. You think it would be easy to see like what's the emission of the industry over the world in a year, but this number fluctuates so much, so it's really hard to get a number. But even if you take the highest number I ever saw for volcano with the lowest number I ever saw for the industry, it's far away from each other, so that doesn't really matter. Another myth is about the car industry and the electrical cars, that these should be causing the climate change as much or even more than like a diesel engine. And this is also depending on how you look at it. And of course, building the car is going to be costful for emissions. But when you charge the car, that's where the big one comes in. And if you charge it with electricity from coal or whatever, of course, emissions is going to be big. But if you charge it from solar or wind or whatever, it's going to be zero emissions. So it's also something that's not true. So what's my conclusion after 2 hours of reading this? It is a big problem. It's probably the biggest problem we're facing. Will we change? Will we human change and see that this is a problem and do something about it? Probably not, unfortunately. We never seem to learn. But I do think we will figure something out to solve the problem, because that's what we normally do. When it's big enough and it's an existential crisis, we'll just solve it. So that's my 200 hours of studying.